Okay. So, this is a special video, not exactly a submission video, but since, in the last few months since I ran Questing for Glories 3, I ran Secret of the Silver Blades, the entire gold box situation has changed. A community developed around Pool of Radiance. So there are only a couple of us runners still, but it's more than I usually had. Most of my games, I start a game nobody else runs, and I run it forever, and I hold all the world records because that's how it is. But other people have actually started running Pool of Radiance, and they've come with new strats, and that's great for Pool of Radiance. But we also had a discussion about the DOSBox settings for running, or rather emulating, since it's about the only way to play these old games anymore, emulating the DOSBox settings for running these games. And when I started running them, I just ran on the default that was given to make it most like a regular, video game that you'd want to speedrun, which puts the CPU speed at 3,000 cycles. That's the default for DOSBox. That's just what I used for my games. But then these new runners that came in were discussing, well, could we upgrade the speed a little, change it? Some other runners of other DOS games put a huge amount of cycles limits and stuff. They greatly speed up the game so that it runs faster, because why not? So we had a discussion on that and finally settled, since I didn't really have any long and short of it, and I really didn't care that much, and I was the moderator, so I created it, but we discussed this, and I was like, sure, I don't mind upgrading the speed, whatever. So we decided on 6,000 cycles, about twice the regular CPU speed that I was running previously, and that has affected the game. It makes all the text and everything run faster, so it makes it very high, so the game runs very, very, very fast, but doesn't make it too terrible if we go into auto combat. Some of the other runners were experimenting with, you can quit combat in these games and the computer will operate for you, and it went so fast the battle's finished before you could even understand what was going on, and sometimes got killed by it. So we settled on 6,000 being a nice rate. So the major thing this does, though, is that this was for Pool of Radiance, but obviously, since, I'm running all the DOSBox, all the gold box games and everything, I thought, well, why have 6,000 for Pool of Radiance and 3,000 for the others? Might as well run them all in 6,000. So that creates an automatic super long time save for the, which has already been felt in some of my recent runs I did. I completed my first ever triple game run of Pool of Radiance, Curse of the Azure Bonds, Secret of the Silver Blades, all back to back to back, same party, and the total time I spent was much less than the PBs of my 3 games combined, even with the extra stuff I had to do in Pool of Radiance because I had to continue the game on. I have run a test for this before and not recorded it, and I finished it in 2 hours 11 minutes. So the game will run a lot faster, and this is important because I have it submitted to RPG Limit Break, as well as in a marathon. It's already been accepted to another online marathon I'm running next month. So I need to do a video of this new tech, as it were, just the game running on these new settings, so that I can get a more appreciable, actually realistic estimate. I figure it'll probably be around 215, but I need to have some video proof out there so that the moderators and everybody in charge can know that this isn't just me spouting stuff and, oh yeah, I found an automatic 30-minute time save, cut that off the estimate, whatever. So this is it. So I plan to do it with Curse of the Azure Bonds, but it's not, because that also is going to be a lot sooner now, but I'm not, even though it's going to be an automatic new PB world record for me, I'm not super big on necessarily needing it because it's not as big a deal. It's not something I'm running in the near future in any of marathons or need to do a big submission video for. So we'll worry about that later. But Secret of Silver Blades is in one marathon. I'm really hoping it gets another new video, so that's what we're doing. Recording it offline just so I can be a little bit more free with it in case I do something wrong like I just did in my first practice a bit ago. We're going to go ahead and get started. So here we go. Our characters have already completed Pool of Radiance and Curse of the Azure Bonds. These ones actually haven't, but they're assumed to in the storyline. But you can start brand new characters like we did. So, unfortunately, our characters were summoned to this town naked. But, thank goodness, they do have some equipment for us. Unfortunately, it's not enough to really outfit us like we would hope, but it'll do for now. They tell us that there's this bookish group called the Black Circle. These mages do not need to be feared. they have no idea what they're talking about. Unfortunately, the Black Circle is evil, and we're going to deal with one of their minions in the town in a bit. First thing we have to do, though, is find out that they're evil, and we get proof of that by seeing them fight. We don't actually have to fight them, thank goodness, but we do have to witness them being hostile, which is going to come up here in a second once we're done memorizing our spells. Okay, I went the wrong way again. I need to go north into here. This is a teleporter to the well. The well is a hub. This magic well is what summon does. You feed it gems and it gives you stuff. Now there's a fight between these Bane soldiers and the Black Circle. Of course it's not auto. I do that pretty much every time though. Just in case. Oh, if I get super lucky here. Nope, didn't get lucky at all. Not a single hit. That's good, though. Yeah, this is a lot easier now that I... Oh. It would actually help if I equip my equipment, too. Not having any equipment is a bit dumb. And let's go and raid those so we know. Alright, so now that was the Black Circle group, and it's random who survives. We see these people fighting each other. So the Priests of Bane and the... Black Circle are fighting over the well because it has great power. They can use it to grant wishes of a sort. You can't really use that in the game. It's a one-time function that you can do any wish, and the townsfolk used it, gave it gems, and wished for heroes to save them. And lo, we appeared, but they forgot to wish for equipment for us, which is why we were naked. So our first order of business that we actually have is to acquire the equipment that we need to survive. So now we've all got some decent equipment at least. We'll get a little bit more later on because we can now. So turns out this mage in the town, Black Circle member, is selling magic items, but we know that the Black Circle is evil now, so we're going to go disrupt his business. Now we're not supposed to be doing this for a while yet, but getting it out of the way is convenient to us. Because we can get lots of equipment, and it will also prevent a... unfortunately, I didn't properly prepare. Oh well. Let's go ahead and hold person. I wanted to cast a haste spell before this, like I often do for these big fights, but oh well. Not a huge deal, small time loss. One hold, that's not bad. Better than nothing anyway. Can't do very much else though, except for use these wands. Oh, that's bad. Okay, I can target. Okay, you can't see that. That'll only get 2. Oh well, better than nothing. They're all hitting too. Jeez, what is this? Gee, we're getting chewed up here. Once you play the game a lot, you can hear the sound between the very faint tink of missing and the chunks of hitting. So this is the example of how fast the game goes, though. You can hear the sounds, but that's pretty much it. Oopsie, quick combated. That's kind of bad. That's okay. You can cancel it elsewhere. Okay, that's that. Now we can get proper equipment for everybody. Let's see, those two need it, and you need a longsword shield. You are fine, right? Except for the sword. These are all longswords +2. These are high-level guys, but we've actually lowered the difficulty, which lowers the hit points enemies have, which makes them easier to defeat, naturally. It's just good to do that. So, let's see. Alright, now that's all I need. Okay, so... I'm going to go ahead and save the game because we can get instant killed here. I'm going to go ahead and cast Blessed Prayer and that haste spell. Get blasted a lot by a trap, and then Marcus flees, leaving some monsters for us to deal with. Okay, good. You don't really need any money in this game, a little bit, but you pick up more than you need in the first couple of battles. Okay, these are just random magic items we don't need, as well as money we don't need, really. Yeah, gems. I guess I can take a little bit to sell. But right now, nothing, but because I didn't even share. Punch him to death, that's right. I could equip weapon too. Alright, fix. So now with this done, after we start interfering with the black circle, until we get rid of Marcus, who is defenestrated now, we could not... Oh, that's plenty of money. Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and buy some magic arrows for all of our party. Not for all of our party. All the party's getting them because it's faster to divide them out this way, but we actually don't want them on the entire party. Just on a couple of characters. Join that to you. He's already used up one of his wands. That's unfortunate. But well. Didn't do that yet. Oh well. Menuing with everything with just keyboard is a little bit dicey. Okay, that's plenty. You'll eventually use a bow, but not for a while yet. Same with him. But having the arrows is good. Okay. And CJ needs to drop these. Ready, ready, ready. These characters are named after my nephews and my niece and my best friend. Because I have 4 nephews, 1 niece, and best friend. Obviously. Some people have many best friends. I kind of miss our best friends, but... Okay, he can train, the cleric can train, and the wizard can train to a fighter and a thief. Alright. Memorize more spells. Getting cure critical wounds, very good. Alright. Now we need to go liberate the well. So to do that... Now, the well is a wonderful point because there are all these teleporters. Once we liberate it from the dragon who's taken it over and drove the townsfolk out, we get to... we can use it as a very safe resting point. First, we have to deal with the dragon and all of its kin. Oh, that was an unfortunate... Oh, well. These dragons are ridiculously hard to hit, even though they're just baby hatchlings, because all dragons have the same armor class. Now, small, subadult red dragons. Dragons are very dangerous. They have kind of low hit points, especially on Novice, when all hit points of enemies are halved. But they do a nasty breath weapon, like that, which can do up to their hit points and damage, and even if you save, it does half their hit points. So... an automatic, unresistible 11 damage to an entire group. You can see Jinx is already really hurt at 17. He could be killed in this next fight. We don't want that, so... but we should be able to take care of him easily with Blessed Prayer and Haste, which give us chances to hit more attacks. Haste essentially doubles our damage by doubling the number of attacks we get. Even the fighter magic user Thief is very deadly here. Boom, there we go. That looks really easy, but having haste is a pretty big deal. So these are better bracers, 1 bow for Bob to start, and then a potion, which I can't remember what it is, but it's probably... Where did I put it? There it is. I have a few notes in this game to remember what we have in the way of good items. I guess these bracers are the same as others. Not really, but they're better than what I have. The potion is probably nothing. But now Bob can use the bow. So now the well tells us things. It pushes us out of the well area, but now that we've liberated it from the dragon, it can somehow make this area safe. So we can rest here just fine, which we're going to do now. Get our haste spell ready. And bless cure light wounds, hold person, prayer. I forgot to rest and memorize apparently. So I was memorizing the spells. Okay. So now we need to go in search of that's the well liberated. Now we need to butcher the black circle, which will be down here. So we go this way. Although I think I want to go ahead and train first. Unfortunately, you do have to run back to the training hall, and again, just like previous Gold Blocks games, if you over-level, you get too much experience, you just lose it, which is unfortunate. So you need to make periodic trips back, but at least you don't have to pay for anything. The people of New Verdigris are so grateful for your assistance that they will train you, which you wonder how on earth you train by going to somebody. That means there's a higher level person who can actually teach you the tricks now that you've gotten that high, right? That seems like a pretty crazy thing. Kind of unfortunate that I did that, actually. Alright. So, the black circle is not totally required. It helps us avoid a few fights and random encounters in some places. We fight a lot more than we would avoid there, but most importantly, we'll get a very powerful magic item. Turning this to quick combat. Can't run from these encounters in the ruins, unfortunately, but they're pretty quick overall. This is one of the worst ones, and still, that wasn't too bad. It wouldn't have been much faster to save and reload. This is a large maze-like area. This is the old ruins of the old town. So this town was founded by two great adventurers, great heroes. There's a paladin and a mage. But when they got old, the mage began to fear for his life and started doing experiments to turn himself into a lich. And so now, and then his brother had to fight him to stop him because, of course, he started worshipping Bane and turned to evil. And there was a great war, and it destroyed the city, and eventually he was sealed inside a... He was sealed inside of their castle that they built. So, oh dearie my. With the hit risk, good. Okay, let's see. The mages are very dangerous, so we have to make sure to deal with them immediately. Excellent. Okay, all mages are damaged, so they can't cast this turn, and they're dealt with. Excellent, that was great. Okay, first thing we have to do is get a key to this door. To the secret door inside the room. Let's ready that. Not quite yet. Let's move closer because the necklace can have a short range. Not that short. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. That'll damage a lot of them, but not us. Okay, wasn't really paying attention to how much damage it did, but it was enough to hurt them, so they can't cast, and now they're dead. Alright. Now we can finish the rest of this fight pretty much on quick combat. A bit dangerous, but because I have to quit it at some point, but... Alright, now... we find a large key and a portal, so we can go back to here. We can. I forgot to cast my other haste spell, but we dealt with that fight anyway, so that's good. Casting haste generally helps out quite a lot. Now we just turn around and go back in. We could run back to town and train as well, but I don't think I have enough experience yet. Okay, so now the key allows us to find the secret door into the main compound. This used to be the old administration building, but now the Black Circle has taken it over. The Black Circle are the descendants of the servants of the Legion that served the Dreadlord. Dispels the Flame Spear. Excellent. That's a random thing. It avoids a few spells, a little bit of damage by dispelling it. Hopefully it goes off immediately. That one was the Council Clerk of Flan who helped us in Pool of Radiance and gave us our money for completing quests and such. She's been sent from Flan as a representative to the council, to the Black Circle, because they are actually the ones who provided the gems from all the gem mines here in Verdigris that allowed us to all the gems that were given as rewards for all these were supplied by the Black Circle via that, and so they have these relations. And now Sasha, who's moving up from a simple clerk, is the diplomat dealing with them. But of course, she has found out that they're not the nicest people, and as this as we start this big invasion and stuff, they will end up capturing her, and there's an incentive for my marathons to actually save her, which you can do. It's a pretty minor thing, but I'm just going to comment and let it up him up. That's faster. Okay. So we have a number of fights to get through, but it goes pretty quickly, and we'll get a really valuable item response. Ooh, let's see. Okay. Wow, not dead yet, huh? Bows are valuable because they always attack 2 times per round, and of course go at range, which is very strong. He's noting where it hits. And we actually have better accuracy with them because they have multiple... The pluses from magic arrows and magic bows stack. Other valuable things as well. Plus being able to hit mages at range is really nice. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of powerful ones. Don't need these scrolls that are there. You barely even see that they're here. Hold our ground and attack. Hold our ground again is a good strategy for this fight. Off before you can do anything. Alright, we have 2 more fights against Black Circle goons. Probably should have hasted for this because it can be pretty dangerous. Okay, hit him, which is good. Good. Our cleric is surrounded. Good thing she has a good armor class at least. Okay, finishing them off. Here's our second fight against guards, and this would be a really dangerous one. Okay, excellent. Jeez. One of them got off first, which is unfortunate. A lightning bolt spell would be ideal right now. Oh well, that wasn't too bad all told. I've seen worse. Hold person is not as useful in these parts because their saving throws are a lot better, and as you might have seen from a couple of spells I did cast, they resisted a lot. So, unfortunately, not something we can really rely on here would otherwise be useful. Plus, they have lower hit points, so it's okay sometimes, but, so I have it memorized in case I want it. Okay, now we have to wade our way through the hatchling pools. We don't know where all these red dragons came from. You'd think we're in Dragonlance or something now. Now is the time to use another wand. Luckily, they have like 5 hit points, so they don't do that much damage with their breath, actually. Okay, now we want to cast our haste spell for this big fight. Blessed Prayer. This is the final fight of the Black Circle. None of these reach far enough. I'm gonna have to delay. Oh well. Hitting a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and use the necklace to do some fireball damage to a pretty decent group of them. Okay, we can quick combat these guys now. Okay, now we get some valuable magic items. We're first going to grab this girdle. These bracers are actually better as well, I believe, and the wand is powerful too, I would think. Yes, definitely. Okay, second best bracers we're going to get in the game. Now the rest of it's worth anything, but... Wand of Lightning, I think, isn't it? Which is good. It would have been useful in a couple of these fights, right? Girdle is really awesome. I need to identify that someday. Now we get to enter a glowing portal back to the thing, so that's the Black Circle butchered. Now we need to go back and train, actually, which I should do before doing that, probably. Before memorizing my spells, even. But now we need to go collect a magic item, which I think I usually do before this, so... train, let's start at the beginning. Alright, now we get Ice Storm, a real spell we can memorize. Charm Monsters, again, is just can be really useful, but I found that the RNG for failing those things is generally not worth the trouble. Okay, let's identify this potion. Yeah, we don't need this potion, because we have haste. Help me not get these mixed up. And by that... Wow, do we really not have enough for that, but we have too much for everything else? Well, whatever. Okay, now I need to go find another, jeez. Monsters attack, that's fine. Let's unready the necklace, ready that, and you can just quick combat as well. Everybody quick. Fire way through these monsters, no problem. Alright, so there are a number of MacGuffins we need to gather in order to defeat the Dreadlord Lich and save the town of New Verdigris. And the first one we really need is that we all know almost nothing about is the Amulet of Eldrimar. Eldrimar is the name of the Lich before he became the Dreadlord, and so this is necessary to find the keys that... the only thing it's necessary for, as far as I remember, is to find the keys that you need to collect in the dungeon so that when you enter the castle, which is the final dungeon, the dungeon is actually the name of one of the dungeons. It's just called the dungeon. There are also mines and ruins and crevices. but there's also the dungeon. But inside of it are the 3 keys that we need to enter the castle. And the castle will... if we don't get the keys, we can't get through the castle and we can't win the game. So we need the amulet to find them. And as far as I remember, there is almost nothing in the game that warns you of this. You're just supposed to find it by exploring. Luckily, you know, when you start speedrun and stuff, you have guidebooks that give you all that information. They're included with the download from GOG.com if you download it there. It's super awesome. So that's a big help. Now, after big battles, I have to try and remember where I am. Okay, I'm here. I know where I am now. Yes, I swear I do. This area is so big, I have to navigate it with a map. Eventually, I hope to be good enough, especially if I'm ever doing this in a live marathon, where it's a little harder to not need the map, but it's difficult, especially with the interruptions. There's only a few places where I do use the map. At least a lot of the early portions I don't. I got good enough with both Curse and Pool of Radiance to be able to do the entire game without dungeons. I still have them mostly memorized. The categories, they're easy and simple enough, but for some reason I just have a little bit more trouble with Stick of Silver Blades because it's a bigger thing. Yes. So now we have to go fight this dragon, take the amulet. We're almost there. Boom. Now we get to attack him. Okay, good. Now, he doesn't... Oh, he has nothing really great, does he? The invisibility ring, that's right. I want to give that to my cleric so that she can sneak around enemy lines at times. You start your turn before anybody acts. You're invisible and nobody can get... Oh, I want the cloak. And the plate mail is +2, which for now is you can use. Also find an amulet and a thing back to the well. Back to town to make sure I can't train. Okay, I can't train yet. Not enough experience from those, that's fine. Back to the well. So now it's time to go to the temple. There's the Temple of Tyr buried in the mines, and the last remaining member of the Silver Blades, the Paladin Brother Oswulf's group. They are... They're the ones who fought with Oswulf to put down the, That went super duper awesome. I'm glad. I was a little bit worried, but I thought that, maybe... We resist hold person as well, but as anybody knows, whoever has to play with those kinds of RNG things, it can always go wrong for you when you least expect it, and even though the enemy never has any problems. Players of Final Fantasy Tactics and stuff who are ever forced to rely on non-guaranteed hit things, they know what I'm talking about. So we go into the mine to the temple. So there's one remaining member of the Secret of the Silver Blades left. The dwarf Durf, I believe is his name. And so but he's going to give us the mission, tell us about Eldramar, the Lich, and all the rest of it. You can keep shooting and all that. Give us the mission. We also have to collect a bunch of other MacGuffins, which he tells us about. He gives us one of these MacGuffins, the Ring of Tyr, without which we cannot find the MacGuffins that we need. Oh, he came in there. That's bad. That'll be okay. Well, that's very bad. Yeah, oh well. Alright, so now we enter Tyr, the Temple of Tyr. Once again, this is a safe place now. We've got to go find the dwarf, but first we're going to get some magic items. Through a secret door here. Into here. Here are a bunch of powerful shields, +3. And that's the only thing we really care about here. Or the potions are actually good. 2 of the potions are extra healing. I think they're the first two. They're good to grab. Okay, now +2 shield can go to CJ. And another +2 shield can go to Bob. And now everybody has +2 shields except for the, yeah, he did improve his armor class. Except for Jinx, but that's okay, he'll get stuff like that later. Yeah. I only took 2 of the potions, I hope they're the right ones. I need to double check that sometime. So now we hear Durf muttering. We're going to be interrupting him, which is just faster to click through all the text. He tells us the story. He tells us he gives us the Ring of Tyr and says, you need to use these to find the pieces of Oswald's staff. They're all buried on different levels on the mine. Conveniently, 1 on each level. You can finish constructing that, and you'll be able to enter the castle. To get through the castle, you need the keys. To enter the castle, you need the staff. All of these MacGuffins. And the best part is, you don't... we want to go ahead and memorize our stuff here. Haste, Fireball, Dry Storm. You can't see these at all. That's the fascinating thing about this game. You have to just know that you have them. You have to take down notes and stuff and read very carefully. In the speedrun, of course, we don't bother doing that, but that's okay. So there are actually 11 levels to the mine. Temple is the first level, or level not quite 0. Okay, so now I need my mine maps because they are difficult. That's temple secured as well. I sometimes do the treasure before the temple, and sometimes I do it after the one in the ruins, the amulet. I ought to have a split for that and set it at a place where I know that I'll have it so it's consistent, but it isn't. Oh well. Okay, now as I thought, I need to go west. Now we're going to find a number of Umber Hulks here, otherwise we can run away from the random encounters, which is convenient. We just take a step back, and like that, boom, we run away. Running away in combat is possible as well, but very, very difficult. Possible but difficult, so it generally isn't worth it to do. So here's our first Umber Hulks. Now there are set encounters with Umber Hulks at various points we have to deal with, very unfortunate. And there are... there are also, of course. There are also random encounters with Umber Hulks at times, and those you cannot run away from, you just get a fight. So, we don't want encounters with Umber Hulks. Now, there's treasure in each of these places as well. Treasure here is the ring we don't care about. The longsword, plate mail, and shield are all +3. Let's have Alex grab those, and CJ grab the shield. And another composite longbow, which we will give to Jinx. So those 20 arrows +2 we'll give to Bob. So now he can shoot from the back row, which is really convenient. We're going to be doing that now instead of using the longsword and shield. Let's see. Longsword we can drop because they're all +2. Trade that to CJ. Okay, now he's buffed up best. -7 armor class, -7 armor class. Boom, we're ready to go. Eventually we'll all get really nice stuff. This is the start here. Let me... Okay, yes, I'm doing it right way. Leave from the monsters. Head back into this room. Turn south here. We avoid all these encounters, move back. So we got our first piece of the staff. There are all these treasure troves that... there are a number of things you can investigate on these mines, but naturally we only want on each level the... Now this is one of the reasons why I have a thief right here. You fall through a trapdoor. We're not supposed to fall through it. That's why I saved the game. I can't afford to take too much damage. Now, I can also find it by turning on search. That's kind of a random thing. It takes me a little bit longer to do that, and I'm almost guaranteed to find it, even without a thief. But having a thief makes it about 80% of the time. I don't have to worry about it, but... Okay, avoid the trapdoor. Boom, just like that, see? And then we don't take the damage. It's not all that bad otherwise, but again, the damage is rough. I can always go back to the temple to heal before the really nasty points, which I need to remember to do more actually, but oh well. Okay, more Umber Hulks. Monsters advance on us. Now luckily, the Umber Hulks, they have a confusion gaze that they can use at the start of their turn, but they can only use it on someone in melee with them. And if they move into melee, they can't use it. It's just the way their AI is programmed, so a lot of monsters are like that. They'll only use special abilities at the start of their turn. Okay, Jinx will disarm the trap. I needed to save before that as well, because this is the big one. I want this wand to fireball. I don't care about the rest of this, I don't think. Yeah, those are non-healing potions. Healing potions are good for supplemental healing at points as well, although I can probably rest a lot more than I need to. I go on later in the game if I remember just to find points where I can fix instead. Probably I can just forget about healing potions, and that'll save a little bit of time. Okay, level 3. Now we need to go north until the way east opens up, and then we go straight east. Save the game just in case, because we're going to be fighting wyverns, and they can poison and kill us in one go, which is very unfortunate. Wyverns move very slowly. It's sometimes worth it to use big fireballs on them, but I'm just going to see how quick combat goes now that we have this enhanced speed. Their bites do not poison, their tail spikes do, so if they hit us, it doesn't mean we'll be poisoned, and we can resist the poison. But poison is instant death in this game, so it's bad, and that went very well. Okay, anything good here? Oh, the boots. Yes, I can't forget the boots again like I did in my thing. And Sarah wants the mace because it is +4. It's one of the best items she will find in the entire game, and it's the weapon she will use for the rest of the game. Okay, so that's that. Now I keep going. Now, on my in my strategy guide, they duplicated level 2 over level 3, so the level 3 map is incorrect. So I had to figure out where the thing was, but luckily it's easy to remember. I have a little system for that, so I'm proud of that at least. If I can figure out the systems for any of the rest of these, but they're a little bit more complicated. There are a few more breaks. Okay, now anything good here? This ring is this is the ring of protection +3. Okay, so Jinx wants that to go with its bracer. That will stack. It does not stack with magical armor, so, but with magical bracers it does. That's how your wizards get armor class in the game, is by putting on bracers. That's basically a first edition thing. I'm not quite sure how it does in greater levels. I haven't played a lot of 5th edition D&D, for instance. Rings of protection do help in like the 3.5 Pathfinder era, I know. Okay, there's nothing good on 5, so I just need to find the piece of the staff. Of course, that's all I'm finding is the piece of the staff anyway, but when I get it, I don't need to worry about... Yeah, I don't want to keep going that way. Don't need to worry about any treasure. Gonna run into some more Umber Hulks on the way. Here they are. The confusion that they cause can cause us to do a whole bunch of things. You can either attack wildly, you can just sit and cry, you can attack the enemy, you can decide to only attack allies, which is very inconvenient. Yeah. Hopefully I won't accidentally attack any of the monsters. That is the default enter command for me if I decide to, if I accidentally do that. Oh, here's some of those Umber Hulk special things. When you're... So with some of the random things that you can do in battle, it will cause you to lose your quick combat, which isn't a big deal either. It's mostly just inconvenient fighting Umber Hulks. They're not particularly dangerous most of the time. Okay, no, actually... Oh, yeah. 6 is the fun level. Now we're going to get our waifu, Vala. Vala is one of the coolest NPCs in all of these games. She's a remaining member of the Silver Blade. We bribed to bash through the barricade. I'm not quite sure how this works. But it does. Should have saved before this, because these, Okay, most of these guys can still quit combat, but I just want to do some fireballing. How does he have a haste spell on? Now, I'm going to go ahead and cast one of my Ice Storm. Okay, range isn't super good, but it's good enough. AoE of Ice Storm is a little bit less. Packed in the way in the corner as he was the... it was hard to get up in range with his necklace or regular Ice Storm. Okay, here, yes. So we have to fight through a bunch of lizard men and their snake friends. Oh, good. This is super convenient. Now I can use this necklace. Blow up so many of these guys. So Vala was sealed by one of the Lich's spells inside a glass cage, and the Ring of Tyr is needed to free her. And so we're going to do that. The lizard men who inhabit this portion of the mine, for some reason, even though it's far from where they should be, worship her as a goddess. And so we can't talk to them, unfortunately, because they think that we're here to destroy them and take away their poor little goddess. But so we just have to fight our way through them. Nothing to be done. They throw javelins. They're super weak creatures for us to be fighting at level 9 and 10-ish that we are. Use the necklace again. I'm about to pick up another necklace, plus I have a wand of fireballs now, so I can start using these to clear out battles a little more quickly. They're still useful, but not useful enough to multiply like I did with the previous one. Okay, I need to pick up the necklace for these guys as well. Need to do that. Golly, a really good one. 28 damage is almost wasted on these lizard men who have 5 hit points. Again, I'm playing on a difficulty where everything is half the normal hit points because it just makes it go faster. It doesn't really affect very much else in the game. So now we blow up the box, Vala steps out, we let her join, of course, because she's super awesome, and she's going to be going into the front of the party for the rest of the game. I used to put her back as a archer later on, but I realized that that's silly because she's actually really good in melee, especially once I do my shenanigans. She'll be as good as any of my fighters, except better. As good as, except better, yes. So now you can encounter random encounters in the lizard men area, even when they aren't there. They just let other monsters wander around all they like. But now we're outside, so that was level 6 as well. Did I totally forget to take the necklace? I totally forgot to take the necklace. Oh well. It's not that big a deal. I'll just have to use the bow more later on and be more careful with my charges. Okay, level 7, we need to go south. More lizard, Umber Hulkses. I'll just use it. Of course he did. So your quick combat characters will, if your guy decides to become threatening, your quick combat characters will start to treat them like an enemy. Which is very unfortunate. Okay, I need to ready those boots. Alright, level 7, so I need to go west, yes. Okay, now we're gonna fight some more guys. What do we have here? Let's see. 2 of the wands are good. 2 of the potions are good, and the ring is trash. Let's see. First 2 wands, both potions. Now we're attacked by the Umber Hulks. Let's see. I think I'll use a wand of lightning here, actually. I used it very badly. If I'd aimed just a little bit differently, I could have gotten more. Oh well. I knew they were all kind of packed in a line like that, so I thought it was just best to let them chop up. Found a piece of the Staff of Oswulf. There's only one piece remaining, as well as some more really, really good equipment. Fleet from the monsters. Alright, 8th level. Couple things to do on the 8th level. First, we need to collect the last piece of the Staff of Oswald. Second of all, there is a teleporter, no, the teleporter, I always say the teleporter first, but the important thing is that there's a force field. A force field generator is being used to prevent us or anyone else from going down past the 9th level of the mine. And in order to get behind the shield, we have to use this malfunctioning teleporter that is located on the 8th level here. In a different place than the, what do you call it? I should be going south to the, okay, it's nice that I cleared this out, but I'm going the wrong way. I could do that first, it doesn't matter. I didn't need that money either, but I can go back up to the 8th level once I've done this, and it's just as easy, so whatever. Normally I go and get the piece first, and then I come to the teleporter, but we're going to do the teleporter first. Oh well. Enter the teleporter. We get thrown and take a lot of damage again, as I kept talking about all the damage we would take from this thing. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cast a big fireball for this fight. I should have used haste too, but oh well. Sometimes I use haste a lot more judiciously. Sometimes I use it less. Ooh, big fireball. Taking out a lot of Umber looks good. Again, like most spells in D&D, it's been a classic thing that most attack spells, you can make a saving throw to take less damage. You'll take half damage instead of full. So now we just head down here. This I don't even need to look at the map for. It's pretty easy. Flee from those ones. We advance. Attack. Need to find out what these ones are too. Okay, now we've destroyed the berry. We can go back to level 8 to find the last piece of the Staff of Oswulf. One more fight against Umber Hulks here. Just going to aim at them. Bigger monsters lag slightly when they move, so it's better to kill them off before they can. Alright, that was the Umber Hulks. Now I need to turn west again. Flee from the monsters. Now we couldn't get past here if we didn't have the Ring of Tears, so hooray for needing these things. Plus we couldn't even find the staffs without it. Alright, the Banded Mail plus 5 is super important. The Cloak is good. The Longsword is also good for Joe. He needs that instead. Doesn't need the other one now. Ready this, I suppose. Now the Banded Mail. He doesn't need this Plate Mail anymore. Banded Mail is super awesome. Although we're not going to actually... I shouldn't have them equipped because we're not going to be using them. Oh. I ought to do a setup for my... a better setup anyway to start my multiplying. Because now if you've seen my previous Goldbox games, you know that I get to use... this little trick with trading out party members to multiply equipment. It's just kind of how the game works and then allowing you to do that. So, now, we have no Dust to Disappearance, and the Necklaces of Missiles aren't good enough to really multiply anymore, but we do have some really awesome equipment we can do instead. First, we're going to go back to Durf. Vala and Durf have a meeting, and then he forges the staff for us and tells us that we are now Silverblades, and we have to go stop the witch with the staff. Which we can now use to enter the castle. First we have to make it through like a whole bunch of other places though. So, I'm going to go ahead and go home before we, to go home, what I really need to do is go to the teleporter. Yes, the temple has a teleporter too, of course. Because these awesome teleporters that go to the well allow us to really move around the map easily. You can't go through them until you've gone through the one on the other end, of course. So you can't use them as shortcuts to get ahead in the game, but they do allow you to maneuver yourself around. Okay. So now it's train everyone. Vala gets to upgrade as a fighter. They get to upgrade as fighters. Cleric, Magic is Thief. Out of Cold, not that I use any of those high level spells. Okay. In adventuring. Now Vala's actually been fighting without, or no, she does have her shield. Okay, get equipment. Alright. Now, do the equipment in a minute. So we want these items. Let's trade them to CJ to start this off. Alright, and I need one more. So Vala has this awesome shield, which is silver, which is a combination of a shield and a silver mirror. It will reflect gazes of Medusa and Basilisk. So, what we... unfortunately, you can't take items off of your NPC party members. However, that's a gold box thing. However, you can deposit their items and then have somebody else, like CJ, take them out. And that shield is there by accident. That shouldn't be there, so we're going to get rid of that. Okay. You could, New Game Plus, like, give a bunch of items to the deposit, and it's carried over between other games, too. It's a pretty big deal. So we want to avoid that, because that kind of invalidates the category. But if you accidentally do something later on, there's something to that. And sometimes I think there always is a shield there. I'm not sure where it comes from. Maybe something I dropped earlier. Whatever. Okay, so these are the 6 items I need to multiply. These are the 5 we want. Alright, so we save the game. Oh, I need to just move into it in here. Now we need to remove Jinx, so we have a party slot open. And then we need to save the game. Now we need to add bags to the party. Now we're going to view CJ and trade this awesome stuff of CJ's to bags. Now we remove bags and override him. And now we drop the rest of the party. This allows us to load our save game, which we'd saved before we gave him the items. But because bags is outside of the party, he gets to keep the stuff that we gave him. It's actually pretty simple how it works. So now we have an extra one. So we're going to trade it to Alex. Alright, remove him. Now we save the game without him in it so that we can use him again. Now we add him back to the party and give him some more stuff. Alex, now give your stuff to him except for the cloaks. One cloak. We don't need any more cloaks because that'll give us 7. Okay, we don't need any more cloaks now. So silver shield, cloak, banded mail boots, girdle to Joe. And to Bob. Alright. Okay, now I know. Alright, now I only need to do 3 more of everything else. Except the banded mail, only 2. Because rather than banded mail, our thief uses bracer. Because if he can wear heavier armor, but if he does, the game doesn't... Okay, I only need 1 of those. So 3 boots, 3 girdles. Oh, don't need the cloak. 3 shields. Banded mail. Okay. This is good. If he wears armor, he can't do his thief skills properly. But mages, if they are dual-class, multi-classed fighter mages, or whatever mages, they can wear any armor and use magic in 1st edition. It's a little bit broken. Or hit the armor right. Okay. Sarah... Vala. Sarah so she can give it to other people. Okay. Bags. Add Jinx back in. Now it's time to get all of our items ready. No longer need this shield because I have this one. Banded mail, boots, cloak, girdle. Don't need this cloak, we'll trade it to Vala. Sure, Vala has everything now. Doesn't need her chainmail anymore. He doesn't have a girdle. Okay, so I need to... That's right, that's where the other girdle. Okay, he doesn't need plate mail or a shield. Just needs banded mail, cloak, silver shield, boots, girdle. CJ. He already has a cloak. Cloak can go to Jinx. Okay, he doesn't... Oh yes, he actually does want to equip his sword and shield now. I need to get some more bows again. Cloak to Sarah, I suppose. Okay, one girdle to Vala, one girdle to Jinx, a shield to Jinx. Boots he already has to Jinx. Doesn't need that shield. Doesn't want his bow. Wants his girdle, cloak, silver shield. I need to go identify those wands too. Okay, and longsword. Now we're all minus 10 armor class. Jinx will get slightly better later. He'll get a slightly better bracer, so everyone will have the same armor class. Alright, now we can memorize our spells. I used a fireball. I didn't use any haste. I used an ice storm and cold. I can memorize now. More healing, so we will fix faster. Which we fix pretty much instantly anyway, but every little bit of extra healing helps. Plus we can use it if we need more on the side. Now we're going to get some more arrows, although we're not using them quite yet. And also we need to identify the rest of these wands so I know what's what. Oh, that's the paralyzation. We don't want that. Well, I missed the lightning wand then. Oh well, it's kind of the most useless anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and buy arrows, bunch of arrows, bunch of arrows, bunch of arrows, bunch of arrows, and like 3 arrows and then he's full. Good guess by me. So now this girdle, this is the whole reason I went to the black circle rather than just getting them out of the way. It would have been faster to take a couple of fights in other places, but by giving them this girdle, by doing this, we now have this girdle that is very awesome. It gives us 23 strength, which is like plus 3 more to hit, plus 5 more damage than the strengths our best characters had before. So this is very nice and will, of course, join all his friends. Okay, this might be enough arrows for the rest of the game. We will... Alright. And we have 900 platinum, but that's fine, because we're strong enough to use it. Alright, so now it's time to go conquer the dungeon. So we need to go back to the temple first, so we can get to the mine. I keep accidentally hitting Y and T at the same time. And now we need to go to B, the basement, or 10th level. And so now we're going to be confronting a lot of groups of Medusas and Basilisks. And so we are just going to chop them up with our mighty weapons. Including you. Yep. Now, our people are going to be fighting through each other, but having these silver shields means that we're pretty much immune to... we're immune to the gaze, so we don't have to worry about that. We can still be turned to stone by the cockatrice's attacks, so, and poisoned by some spiders and stuff we'll meet later on, centipedes and things. So it's still better to be safe and safety save, but it's very important to have these shields for these fights because there's so many Medusa and Basilisks, and you can't rely on them only hitting the front people. It has a pretty good range, whoever they can target with that, and so they will shoot the people in the back lines. Not like super guaranteed, but it can happen, and we want it not to happen, so better just to take them all out in melee and eliminate it. Now, I could perhaps thin their numbers with some spells and abilities from my Fighter Magic User Thief, but I'd rather save it. So party makeup I can talk about a little bit. I have one Fighter Magic User Thief. He's an elf. He's going to reach maximum level in all of his things except for Thief, which is unlimited for them. But non-human multi-class characters, or non-human characters in general, have a upper limit to all of their classes except for Thief. And it's very unfortunate, rather annoying. It was done to balance it in a way that made no sense, because since the logic of the creators of original first edition AD&D was because elves and dwarves and such live so much longer than humans, they could theoretically have unlimited growth and reach levels 40, 50, 60 if they live for hundreds of years. So to prevent people from being able to do that, they made them have an upper limit so nobody will want to. So after they reach the upper limit and stuff, they'll go on. And their levels are really low. As a fighter, my elf maxes at level 7, and as a mage, just 11. You wouldn't get enough experience to go up too much higher as a mage anyway, and their spells aren't really all that necessary. Speedrun-wise, when we can multiply out our equipment and stuff like this. Plus, it allows me to be a thief, which I only need for a few instances, so I don't need my thief to be that powerful. Plus, I get a lot of good magic items like these wands that I can use for spell attacks and stuff, so I really don't need... I just get haste, which is powerful enough for my warrior types anyway, and that's pretty much it. Then I have 3 regular fighters, and a ranger. The ranger is slightly worse. At the very, very end of the game, he will be slightly worse than the other fighters. But for most of the game, he's about equal, and he gives us, just having a ranger in the party, lets us surprise the enemy about half the time. It never lets you know when it happens, but if ever all my characters get to go first, and maybe twice before the enemy does, that's because we surprised them. And so only the ranger allows us to do that. We're going to go ahead and haste here, as well as bless and prayer. Now, when fighters go up in level, they get more melee attacks. No other class does. Every class, ranged weapons, all have, including thrown weapons, have a set amount of times per turn you can attack. Darts, 3 times a turn. Bows, twice a turn. Most others, once per turn. But haste doubles your number of attacks regardless, so it basically doubles all the damage you get. And if you cast it outside of battle, it hits the entire party. If you cast it in battle, it only targets a area effect around, and it's hard to get the whole party in that area. So that's kind of rough. So now we're in the dungeon. This madman is in the dungeon. Amazingly, a dungeon does not have any random encounters. There are only like a dozen fights in the dungeon total that we'll be fighting. This is the first one, which is going to be kind of rough because we have... Okay, this is actually really good. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and wand Ice Storm so that they can't cast lightning. Oh god, how did it... Oh, he resisted. They do have... They're not supposed to, but they do have magic resistance, and so it's very low, but it can happen on occasion. So that was unfortunate. We didn't take a lot of damage, though, so that's not a big deal. We don't have anything useful. Now we have another fight in here. Against mages, of all things, so... Oh yeah, and they're all driders and mages. Excellent. They're all damaged, so now nobody's going to be throwing any lightning bolts around. He surrendered. That's hilarious. Okay. I thought he was casting since he went at the start of the next round. Okay, now this is very important. This is our fine longbow, which is going to be much better than the composite longbow. And now we'll trade this to Alex, so that's why he had a bow. Alex is in front. We're going to have to change that because he's a ranger. So this is mostly because in the later game he isn't as good in melee, but he still gets some bonuses like this. So now we can go back to bows, which we're going to do with pretty much with our back three characters. Since things are tight, now we don't have to worry about that. We can shoot from back range. Now the fine longbow allows you to use your... Here's a portal. Gain experience. I'm going to run back and train now. Yeah, I'm going the right way. Sort of. I don't know if I can train, but again, I need to keep better track of where my guaranteed training are. Level 11 range. But memorize lesson prayer. Yes, these people let you sleep in the street. They're such heroes. You can sleep anywhere you like, and it doesn't really matter. There's nothing that gives you better rest, so you might as well sleep in the street. Or the well, or anywhere you like. You're used to camping out. You have all the camp out supplies you need. Thank goodness they didn't worry about realism like that and eating and such things. Okay, so the other thing we need to do is alter the order. Alex, go to the back. And order Sarah move up in front of Bob. So now our three archers are in the back. If we could find a decent staff sling and somewhere usable, we might keep the cleric in the back as well, but unfortunately I haven't been able to route one in yet. So now in order to advance past each level, we have to answer these riddles. You feel it, you never saw it, you never will, it is your heart. They're the same every time, so you don't have to worry about any RNG. Big fight coming up here. The madmen send some pets at us. This evil spirit of the madman gives us a choice to either fight or answer riddles. Naturally, the riddles are faster than fighting, so... Here's our second riddle coming up. You must keep it after giving it. Is your word. Alright, and here we go. Somehow I exited. Went too far that time, that's odd. Next riddle, light as a feather, but you can't hold it for 10 minutes, is your breath. That is a, we saw another passage, that was to a dungeon that we could go through, but we don't want to. Because, of course, it's unnecessary. It's, what do they call it? You know, optional dungeon. Side quest kind of dungeon. This bow firing strength damage arrows at range is ridiculous. That's the power of the fine longbow. So now we collect our first of the 3 keys we need, which you wouldn't really know except for talking to, if you explore this whole area, and or talk to sphinxes. Again, you wouldn't even be able to find the key unless you have the Amulet of Eldramar, which we had to go get from the ruins much earlier. Okay, answer the riddle. One word, mouth but does not speak. A bed and never sleeps is a river. If you failed the riddle, you get teleported back to the well, and he will, for a fee of gems, give you the answer to the riddle so that you're not stuck. Okay. Going to get in a couple of fights here. Unfortunately, we can't do anything but attack the emeralds. Luckily, they were really easy. Too far there. Okay, next riddle. Run smoothly, but any rhyme loves to fall but cannot climb. Water, of course. Courses if it's obvious and... Okay, through here. This is the shortest one in the game. One word, you break it even if you name it. Silence. Okay, time to get our second key here, and once again we have to get involved in a big fight beforehand. It's right in here. A lot of pyrohydras. They're not that threatening though, only 27 hit points. If you pay attention to the games, you'll see that the monsters actually have a lot more hit points in Curse of the Azure Bonds than in Big Silver Blades, even though they're all higher level because of the fact that they have half. Is the silver key anything good? Oh, the Bracers of Armor Class 2 and another necklace. Yes. The answer to that is yes. It's only like a wand of paralyzation. Most of that we don't want. Oh. Okay, get rid of old bracers, equip new bracers. Now he has a necklace as well. And a bunch more wands I need to use up. I need to use up... I've been fighting a lot more auto combat than, what you call it. Okay, next answer, passive for sun makes no shadow. It's wind. It could be a bunch of things, I think, but wind is the one he likes. Now we're going to encounter a Gyno Sphinx. There are a lot of these in the dungeon. They can be useful if you give them money. We're going to, even though we don't need it, just because it's otherwise fight the Gyno Sphinx, which can get bad. You don't want to do that. Unfortunately, we have to fight these giants. No mages, right? Yeah, okay, so you can kill whoever. I gotta ice storm them. Fire Giants are immune to fire, and Frost Giants are immune to ice. Dragons, however, are not. Neither are Hellhounds. Later editions make them so, but in these editions, yeah, it's pretty easier to deal with them because you can use whatever you like. Now that's a weird thing that it's a weird thing to make you go for it if you don't do it. Fire is what you feed and it lives, and you give it something to drink and it dies. Oh, it makes sense, right? But fire with water. Of course, you feed it gasoline, it will, but this is the medieval kind of times and they don't have gasoline. There's that section there that we had a very inconvenient step where when you take a step, you suddenly get a message, you hear footsteps behind you. And it's kind of, I almost wonder if it's programmed as a trick, because if you take another step, because you think that's what you need to do right after you hit enter, but your step has already been registered. So you take another step and you go into a room where you have to, there's a lot of good treasure in there, but we don't really need it, and we have to do 2 long fights to get it, so we don't want that. Okay, so this is, oh yeah, here. Still right here. No. Oh, yeah, I forgot where he was for a minute. Here's... We could go and do another battle and get a +5 staff sling, but I don't really think it's worth it. We attack the image, it disperses, and no more riddles. Yay, no more riddles. Now we just have, really, 1 more level to get through. Several fights in here, though, including a nasty one against mages here. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and cast one of my haste spells and one of my prayer spells. Okay. This is... Oh, darn. That was not what I wanted. Oh well. This might work out anyway. Oh, he was not using his bow, so kind of a good thing. Oh, blast. Okay, good. Excellent. We're fine. Alright. Oh, nope, I can't go there yet. Yeah, this way. More guards. And mages. Oh, that's bad. Oh, yay. Good job, cleric. Good job, Sarah. Alright, we need to get our last key here. Purple worms can swallow us whole. We don't want that. Swallow Hole is an instant death thing. A lot of instant death abilities on critters in the old games, but that's good. It's a low chance, but you don't want a character to die because it's super hard to deal with and get the character back. No life potions, no easy resurrect spells. My cleric could potentially do it, but you also lose stats permanently, so it's better just to not allow it to happen. There were random items, but we don't care about them. These monsters we actually let pass because they're not going to fight us. We're actually going to deal with the, let's see, and then it's the Western Crevices. Do I want any of them? Probably not, really. Yeah, this is fine. We'll go ahead and use our second haste, our Blessed Prayer spell before this fight, because this is a lot of purple worms and they can be dangerous. Again, not particularly bad for the most part, but you can get those random things. And yes, haste stacks with our Boots of Speed, so we have 48 movement with Boots of Speed and haste, and Banded Mail +5, which is why we use Banded Mail +5 as opposed to like Plate +4 or Plate +5 later. Now we enter the Western Crevices. That's the dungeon conquered. Now, you can run away from these battles, but it's slightly more complicated than the ones in the mine. They will continue pursuing you, and that can cause some slight time loss, but luckily these corners are fine, and no worries. Every time you go through a passage, the monsters chasing you disappear entirely, so they're still following us, but now they're gone. Better pay real attention to where I am. I sometimes get lost in these things, even with the map. These are huge areas, especially compared to the previous games, which had very small areas by comparison. A Scream, this is Sasha. We could go and rescue her, but we're not going to. However, this is a donation incentive for a couple of my marathon submissions and stuff, so we may end up going and doing it. It's like a 15-minute detour to do the full thing. This is really the most inconvenient because we keep having to run into them and they keep catching us. And it keeps turning us around, but oh, no, I'm going to the fight. Oh well, I guess we'll just fight them. Quite a time waste, but oh well. Not the worst time waste. Might have been less than running through this corridor. We almost made it through. We're running through a straight corridor and then getting attacked in it because you only run through them. But if you move not directly towards them, they think that they're chasing you. Kind of a weirdly programmed thing. Okay, excellent. Time to use our necklace. Excellent. Him going first is best case scenario. Oh, and a good necklace fireball too. Okay, are they all dead? Yes, all those are dead. So we need to clear out the ones on Jinx so we can get away. Took a lot of damage. Got away. They're doing a lot of hits. Okay. Now we just leave. I am going to... Wow. Okay, you... No, Joe has the potions. Well, I put him up. Let's give 2 to Sarah, and 2 to Jinx, and go ahead and drink them. Whatever that potion was, that was not healing. I always miss that. These ones are, though. Okay, back to 64 and 64 hit points, much better. Vala's a little weak right now, too, but... Frost Giants! This actually would have been a good place to use my other haste, oh well. Luckily, we're at a teleporter, though, so we can run back and heal. So, good place to use those potions. I will be close to a teleporter and not really need that much healing for every point onward from here. Now we're attacked by the Black Circle. So the Frost Giants have a village up here, and naturally, because they're Frost Giants, they really like the cold. But they are melting the glacier in order to get their master, the Dreadlord, out. And so they don't like the glacier, their home being melted. So they're at war, the Black Circle and the Frost Giants. And the Black Circle, of course, have been fighting them, but the Frost Giants are naturally kind of evil anyway. They're a naturally chaotic evil race. And so they don't like humans and think that we're all their enemies, and so they assume we're with the Black Circle and attacked us. Unfortunately, there's no reasoning with them, at least until we meet the king, and then he's like, you've slaughtered 100 of my best warriors already, so I'm willing to talk. Do you want to not fight? And we're like, yeah, we don't want to fight. And he's like, okay, will you help us against Black Circle? And we say, sure. And then they'll let us pass through the village, which is not only less fighting overall to do the 2 quick battles to help out the Frost Giants, but also allows us to move instantly through the village to get between a teleporter where we can go home and level up and the western crevices. We're almost through. Here we are. Teleport to the north. Hooray, now we can start sleeping. Nope, I went south instead of north like I need to. Alright. Everybody trains. Oh, I didn't. Oh well, doesn't matter what I memorized actually anyways. Alright, so now we need to gain a tiny bit more experience. We gained a lot of experience from when we last went. So the best way to do that is to rest for days until monsters attack. This will give us 1 experience and allow us to level up. And oh, holy cow, it's a wonderfully small group. Awesome. That was fast. Okay, now with this we can level up some of our characters at least all over again. Jinx is pretty much leveled out now. He might gain some, Okay, we get more. Let's do another blast. No hit wounds. Old person. More prayers. 2 heal spells. And Jinx. Another stinking cloud and another cold. Townsfolk shout encouragement. Stop that, you're interrupting me. Welcome back, don't do that either. Okay, through the portal, back to 8-1, I think, or 7-1. Nope, 8-1's the dungeon. It is that one. Auto-locking doors again as well. I usually remember that better. Thought it was 7-1 and then second-guessed myself. Now we have to deal with a lot of Frost Giants. Where's my necklace? That won't hit. Yeah, no targeting reticule means you have to be really good with this to hit with it. There are about 6 fights against Frost Giants here. And that's not including any random ones, which I think we can avoid for the most part, but they're still rough. I think you can encounter other random monsters in here too. Once again, you know, they allow all sorts of monsters to be in their realm. Whatever, they're a chaotic evil species. Also, first edition D&D, you know. Although, is it really that much different than encountering weird random monsters in weird places in Final Fantasy? Not really. Standard RPG stuff. Bash our way through another door. We get pelted by boulders that are hurling at us. Not a very good fireball, unfortunately. Oh well. Okay, 2 more fights against giants. Having this girdle of giant strength makes it a lot easier to get through these doors as well. It takes a lot longer if you don't have it, so that's probably saving time on that. I think I have one more fight. Yeah, I actually have one more fight. There's so many of these. I think that some of them are semi-random, but we can't really do much of avoid them. Just do nothing if you can. They'll finish them off. Last fight. Alright, we are going to use our Wand of Lightning. Good place to use it. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and cast our haste spell. Cast our blessed prayer. Okay, this time use the Wand of Ice Storms because these guys are all immune to fire. Now the giants actually help out some. We slaughtered most of their warriors. They can only spare 3 for us, but, you know, it helps out. We make it up to them with this. Excellent. Ouch, they're hitting a lot now. Oh well. We'll get healing right after this, though, or we can take it. Because now they'll allow us... We can't enter their village anymore, but they will escort us through it back and forth. And now we get the Frost Giant's treasure, which consists of... Longsword, shield, and plate +4, which we will give to... Why not? We'll give Val the plate and shield. Why not? Oh, no, don't want that. The shield, I don't care about the plate mail. Longsword and shield. Oh, she hasn't been wearing the girdle this whole time? Or did I just accidentally unequip it? She would have been doing a lot more if she had it. Oh well. We want to go to the dungeon, because that puts us next to the teleporter. That's the Frost Giants pacified. 7-1. I need to remember that. I was totally lost as to where I was. How weird. Of course, the entire area looks the same, so... Level 13 Cleric for Sarah, level 11 Magic User. Okay, so I'll get 13 soon-ish. I'm actually 10,000 away from 13. Actually, come back to it. Paste. Lightning bolt. Oops. Okay, now fortunately we can't run from the fights in here. So, some of them I will take, some of them are too nasty. This Cloud Giant convinces this group of Frost Giants that we are totally here to destroy them, and so they attack us. They haven't heard the news that we just saved the Frost Giants, unfortunately. Then the Cloud Giant runs away. The Cloud Giants, all the Giants serve the Dreadlord. He's even got some, a lot of Storm Giants in his thrall in the dungeon, which are not supposed to be possible. Or shouldn't really happen. This is a very bad AD&D thing where, you know, all monsters are given as potential opponents, including ones that should be good. Storm Giants are supposed to be good, and they shouldn't be serving a Lich. They never want to do that. But that's how they've got it. So this fight will give us more than 10,000 experience, so we can level our characters to 13, and that will give us a 33% increase in power for our frontline fighters, for the other two at least. Val already has it, by giving an additional attack every turn. So that's what makes this such an important level, and why it's worth it to go back just for this instance, since we can go back so easily. And getting that experience is faster than trying to get it from the ruins. They don't give that much. Okay, that's all. Again, Alex won't get that, but that's okay. He's mostly on archer duty now. Took a little bit of damage. Go ahead and fix that up because we can. Fix makes the game automatically cast all your healing spells and then rememorize them. So it's a very useful function for quickly healing up, and it makes the cleric really useful for getting those. Hydra's attack, this is fine. Again, I don't want to fight humans. The Legion Guards and the Black Circle heroes here have too many hit points, are way too tough to hit, do too much damage, and are in much higher numbers than the big giant monsters that are actually weaker than the human. Yeah, Castle Guard's attack is bad. We don't want that, so we're going to reload. Okay, gotta pull my map back up. Venturing. This is a pretty easy way to make through. I should be able to memorize it soon, but I don't have it memorized yet, so... This is another random encounter you can get, is having Ice Drip on you. Very annoying. Monster attack Remorazes are fine. They can instant kill me, but they're pretty easy to kill, so... Odds, again, are pretty low of being instant swallowed, but... Okay, we have to kill these guys. Alright. This is unfortunate. Oh, blast. I didn't want him to do that. He needed to use his fireballs. I forgot who I was talking to. This is bad. Okay, well, the good news is only one of them will get to cast. Ooh, the bad news is, just toasted my, killed himself at least. Toasted my cleric. Well, that's okay, that's what I have heal spells for. Alright, let's use the Wand of Ice Storm. I need to use it up. This is a forced fight against them too, so I can't avoid this combat. I think it's kind of neat that the game, rather than just having a lot of different areas where things happen, generally, there is a few exceptions. There are a few exceptions. But generally, as you get further in the game, it's harder to avoid the random encounters. At first, you can just step back from them. Later on, you have to... they will chase you, and you have to either fight for the chase or actually run away or whatever. But then... but when you get here, you can't run away from the fight, so at least it's only here. But yeah, she took a lot of damage from that double lightning bolt. Luckily, heal will heal her up almost entirely. White Dragon's attack, okay. That was easy. I love how you get random encounters immediately after a set battle. It's lovely. More ice rains down on us. Also, the ground can tremble, which is fine because we don't care about trembling ground. Pretty good luck so far. Maybe I shouldn't say that, you know, because of jinxes and stuff. Not that I believe them. Remorazes are fine, though, so whatever. Has information for us. She'll also let us know around here that we can't enter the castle without the staff. We're actually back in the western crevices, which was useful because I forgot that during my Quest for Glory run. Because I didn't have my splits in front of me, which remind me to do things, I forgot to actually assemble the staff. Oh, blast. We'll take it. It's just regular fighters. It's annoying, but I didn't save for a bit, so... they don't have mages with them. They're in lesser numbers, so... well, jeez, we're not hitting, though. Annoying. Could be worse. Castle guards are the worst ones when it says monsters. Alright, so we need to go to the south here. I sometimes get these parts up. More ice and Vala is hit. Darn. Vala's one weakness is that she doesn't... So, this is another set battle. We can run away, but when we come back, we'll actually fight more monsters. So, definitely... fight. Oh good, more and more asses. I have definitely liked the random encounters we've been getting. For the most part. Only one castle guard so far is really strong. Okay, these red dragons are another set encounter, which is fine. They can be very dangerous if they end up going first, but looks like we're getting really lucky here. Good, 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 good. A ranger tells us stuff, and we listen. Not that we need to know. We know from maps and playing the game and all sorts of other reasons we would have to know that. So yeah, instead of having notes, I just use the maps. I guess it's not bad that I use these maps because I do have notes for what treasure I want to get, though. I didn't need it for, again, after just a little bit, I never needed it anymore for Curse of the Azure Bonds and Pool of Radiance because they're such small, easy games. This one's a little bit bigger and more complicated. Again, ice dragons, white dragons, not immune to Ice Storm. They get to blast us though, so we took a bit of damage there. Not a huge amount, they have low hit points, but it can build up if you get too many of those blasts. Now the huge ones, we should wipe them out fast though. Like I said. That's another double set battle. More red dragons come flying out of the corridor. Having the level 13 fighters, I usually don't do that until I get to the cave. So, okay, this is actually it. This is the last big fight here. We want to cast our haste, our bless, our prayer. Oswulf is fighting, the spirit of Oswulf is here fighting off the Black Circle's forces as they try to get into the castle. So now we attack them from behind. First, just some giants, pretty easy, and a few dragons. And now the Black Circle attacks, and this is a lot more dangerous because there are a lot of mages. And they're doing things like that. Very, very annoying. Golly. Ugh. Okay, use... Time for me to do something similar to what they're doing. We're going to use Wand of Fireballs. That other Wand of Ice Storm is still going. I haven't used it nearly much, but even so. Longer range is the main reason to do this. More damage as well. Golly, the fighter going. This was one point where I really needed the ranger to make us all go first, but we rolled terrible initiative. They roll it all randomly, of course. Okay, wand off, bow on. Okay, that's it. Now, Oswulf is going to give us his +5 sword and shield. So now we're going to take those, and some of us got rid of our... Oh, blast, that's bad, actually. That's bad. Well, I'll deal with it. The good news is everybody else still has their silver shields +5 anyway, so this is actually not a total disaster. I wanted to give everybody +5 shields and the +5 swords, so we'd be better off, but the kind of bad thing, though, is... Okay, I can deposit the sword, though, and do it later. That's fine. Okay, so this is going to be a slightly bad split. I think I'm not going to split until I come back, in fact. A random encounter here, right before the gates. Okay, normally I'd split after going in, but I do that also after I did more shenanigans to multiply up the sword and shield. Okay, this is the one random encounter in the final dungeon, and we're going to take it here. We still have our... Let's see, I should be equipping my shields, but I'm going to take a risk at... that they won't shoot the back lines that much, and I'll kill them first. Okay, good. Anybody casting? Not yet. Oh, gall. Is he... dying? Okay, not a worry. Okay, unfortunate, but not the most terrible thing. Especially since Sarah has another heal spell she can cast. So he'll be back up. Yeah. Okay, now I need to start, darn. I need to equip my shield just so I don't get turned down. That was an awesome ice storm. Okay, and here is our last teleporter. No, our next to last teleporter. There's one more at the very, very end of the game. I'm slightly under because I did the slightly wrong thing, but that's okay. Let's see. We'll train again one more time. Level 12 Thief, level 13 Ranger. Doesn't really make that big of a deal. Okay, begin adventuring. Okay, deposit. Well, the problem with leaving her in front is that I naturally pick up things with it. And so we need to deposit both of these. And now we need to take them with Joe. Again, that shield is there. I don't know why that shield keeps ending up there. Oh well. I don't use it, so it's doesn't matter. Okay, now... move... I guess it's Alex from the party this time. Add our good friend Bags. You Joe and trade him these two new items. Remove Bags, override him. Drop, yes, drop, yes, drop, yes, drop, yes. Load up at A. Add good old Bags to the party. No, that was Alex. Bags to the party. Okay, trade those to Sarah because she has... I should have traded them to Joe, actually. Oh well. Slightly more clumsier in this because they don't give you shortcut options for using the keyboard to do commands in this menu. So I actually have to use the arrows to select everything. Yeah, I actually have too many, but that's okay. Okay, so we're okay. Yes, so that we don't do new game plus shenanigans. Add Alex, Sarah. Ready. Okay, let's see who has and hasn't. Shield. Okay, Bob hasn't got him yet. Yes. So Sarah, long sword and shield to Bob. Okay, now everyone will have them. Okay, more sword and shield on everybody for a bit. Ooh, he's almost out of arrows. Well, we aren't going to be using any more for a while, so that's fine. Okay, now we all have negative 13 armor class. Well, we could get one better, but we would lose our movement speed, and we don't want that. So. Fix. We don't want ear spells. Need our haste spell back. In fact, actually, let's cast Lightning Bolt, because that's not going to be... And instead, let's memorize... 2 more haste spells, so we'll have 3. That'll make things a little easier. Another bless, another prayer, and my 2 heals. I was going to use an AoE, but everything's dead by now, so who cares? Okay, now we pull this lever. This will allow us to leave this area. We wait. These are turning walls, you know, like you see in some of those whodunit movies. And I slightly messed up where I'm going, but not big. It's right here I'm going now. We fill disorientation, we teleport to the next thing. There are some fights we could get into, but we're actually going to just avoid most of the fights. Now, there are some traps on this level, which hopefully Jinx will be able to disarm. Nope, forget that. Okay, yay, Jinx, good job. You did one thing correctly. The thief usually fails on 1 or 2 of those. I think you're supposed to be higher than 12th level, a bit low for a thief at this point, but Yay, I only get one of the steel eye things here. So we would fight iron golems, but we tell them steel eye and they leave us alone. I'm not sure where you learn the password if you don't have a Klubik to tell you. This guy tells you it's fool, but he's a liar, this mysterious voice. And now the stairs up. This is the final level. So the castle has been penetrated. And despite the extra time I spent and everything, and the low thing, this is still one of the fastest I've ever... This is still a gold split. That's really incredible. Okay, Dreadlord Sanctum. We let the Lich attack first. We fix up. Because that was a lot of damage we took. We come through here. We bash. We gain experience, not that it matters. We can't even go back to train very easily, at least. So it's not worth it. Okay, we use our first key, which is silver. We speak our name. We say that we're Oswulf, and the Dreadlord lets us pass. We have to lie and say that we're Oswulf, or we can't do anything. Save the game. Oh, it's Jinx, not Alex. I should know that. Okay, bless and prayer. Okay, now dangerous fight against all sorts of clerics and stuff. Let us use a wand. Just excellent. Seriously? Well, the good news is he's way in the back, so he's not going to be harmed. The bad news is we really need to hit these clerics. That's pretty bad luck, but the fight went well anyway, so... Okay, now we use the gold. Okay, next big fight is here against a guy with a girdle of giant strength, as well as plus 5 plate mail. This is where you can get plus 5 plate mail. We're not going to bother with it, though. Because we have plus 5 banded, which is only one less and allows us infinite movement. Well, not infinite, but with our thing here, 36. Okay, oh, necklace is done too. Excellent. So, let's go ahead and Southern Wand of Ice Storm. There we go. Okay, we are fine on hit points. He's damaged a little, but that's not bad. Okay, some Hydras in here. Oh yeah, the brass key too. Brass key is last for some reason. They put it in a weird order, silver, gold, brass. Could I actually get a sub 2? That would be amazing. Yeah, punch it. Hit it with your wand. I don't care. These things go down fast. Yeah, what a big scary fight. 2 fights left in the game. Here's the penultimate fight and the ultimate fight, as it were. The final battle against the Lich. But after that, we have to kill his last guardians of his phylactery, because you have to kill Lich's phylactery, as anybody knows who has done this. In order to kill Lich, you know, who's played D&D and stuff, you have to kill destroy the Lich's phylactery to put them to death entirely. But first we have our chance against the Lich. So as long as we do not lose too many characters... I really should have had the Ring of Invisibility on for this part. Oh, darn. Now he's probably going to die, but oh well. Use a wand of fireballs. Now, we cannot target the Dread Lich with the Dreadlord with... He's immune to everything below 4th level spells, and we can't target him directly with ranged weapons, which is really unfortunate. Oh, yay, but I got to go hit him there. Gall, that was lucky. Nobody bothered to kill him. We hit him, so he won't be able to cast, because he's under the same rules as Mortal Mage. Just took out the Dreadlord. This is one of the best fights I've ever had with it. Being on auto, too. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, we're not using any more bows here, actually, at this point, anyway. So now we have to go through this secret door, and now we have to explore the room, kill the golems, and Medusa. Oh, blast! I still have this. I forgot entirely. I need to take his wand off and put him with the sword. Haha. Got a small thing. Otherwise, this battle's pretty easy. I mean, they're tough, but the Medusas, of course, they can't get us because our silver shields will reflect their gazes. Regular shields will not, of course. Oh, geez. And now he didn't even get another turn to possibly use his fireball. Oh, well. Final cutscene, and that's it. 155.47. Nice, 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 nice. Sub 2, thanks to the new power of the thing. So that's Secret of the Silver Blades. We saw the final cutscene that we destroyed his phylactery, and his spirit ascended up, and his brother spirit came and met him and took him back up to the heavens, the afterlife, wherever they are. He was forgiven for his sins, I guess. I don't know. He made a mistake, but whatever. So with that, we've saved the town of Verdigris, and they are so happy they will do nothing but party the rest of the game. So that's our final portal, which can take us to it, but we can't train or anything. We can't use anything in town. The only place that's open is the bar. And if we go there, the people are so happy they immediately feed us so much beer, we get drunk and pass out and wake up in the mayor's house. So, hooray for alcohol. Some of our characters are minors, but, oh, not anymore. Luckily, we've had enough haste spells cast on us that none of us are minors anymore, so it doesn't matter. Some of us started at age 17, though, so. But, rush up, shake your hand for joy. Wild parties going on, drinks pour freely, you wake with an aching head in the mayor's house. Every place else is, all the buildings are empty, everybody is, partying in the street. Everywhere. The vault is empty, partying in the street. Training hall, empty, people are partying in the street. Temple of Gond is empty, people are partying in the street. So they can't heal your dead characters. It's just great. But that's it. So that's Secret of the Silver Blades with the new speed and some very good execution. I just did a lot better here than I usually do. That went really, really fast. I was a little short on the well thing, but otherwise I did well on all my things, all my splits anyway. As I say, I did a test run and it was 2:11, so I cut a lot of time off with that even. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with that. I think I'll have a 2:15 estimate with that. So anyway, that's Secret of Silver Blades. For watching, and get ready for this and at least one upcoming marathon.